Well, welcome everybody to our little sit down talk about what I do with setting my hair and whatnot. I had just started doing real vintagey type hairstyling a little over a year ago. Was a novice. I wasn't a big hairstyler per se before that. Just what everybody else does in their daily life. Didn't like to spend a lot of time on my hair and stuff. So when I delved into this whole process of trying to do vintage styling hair, I watched a lot of hair tutorials on YouTube, of course, and got a lot of helpful hints and different products to use and different ways to set it. And over the last year I've kind of tried a little bit of everything, anything from pin curls to rag rollers to, and there's tutorials about that if you want to check that out online. And this is what I have kind of cut down to that is the simplest for me, is the least time consuming. I'm not a person who likes to spend a lot of time with my hair and stuff, I guess. I like to have it quick and easy and non-stressful. So I'm going to go over what I use for my products and some of the stuff I used before I started doing vintage hair, and some of it I found while I was learning how to do vintage hair from other YouTubers' videos and stuff. And I'm going to try to link below the girls that really do the lovely vintage hairstyles and spend a lot of time and the different stylings and stuff. And my vintage hair is usually a modification of what I have right now. Might fluff it up or zhuzh it up a little bit so it's a little more Marilyn or Elizabeth Taylor, not Liza, sorry. And kind of based on my inspiration is my mom. I have lots of old pictures of my mother with her vintage hairstyling from the mid-30s on up, from the time she was a teenager on up, and I kind of based my hair on how she used to wear it. So it would be the everyday girls type hairstyling, I guess you'd say. So I'm going to kind of go over first the products that I've found that I use that I like. And there's lots and lots of stuff to try, and I have tried a few, but the basic ones that I've used that I like, and the stuff pretty much that I used before. So the different types of settings that I do, I use all these products for. So I'm going to go through the product list first. So I have, and mostly they're Aussie. I just like Aussie products for some reason. They've always worked well for me. So I use this styling gel, and it is a spray gel. Volumizing spray gel. I found that it works really well. You can use it for a loose setting lotion if you want a really loose curl that's not going to hold long. It's not going to keep up long. But I use that. And sometimes when I run out of my motion setting lotion that I'll show you, I have used this, and it's worked for a setting gel, and it's called Instant Freeze Sculpting Gel. And I have used that. It's an Aussie product. And it works okay if I don't have my other setting gel. And then I also have a old Aussie bottle that obviously has no label on it, and this is half and half of water and motion setting lotion that I use during my setting processes for when it starts to dry out and you gotta re-dampen it. And this is one you'll see everybody uses all the time, and that works wonderfully, and I like it too. And it's Motion's foaming wrap lotion, and you'll see all the girls use this, and it works really well. That's why everybody uses it, and it's very inexpensive. And all these products I have got at Walmart. They can be all purchased at Walmart. So that's for my wet sets, and if I'm doing a dry set, I use this Hair Insurance Heat Protecting Shine Spray. And that's if I am going to do a roller set that I am going to sit under a dryer, or lazy girls vintage hair. It's not lazy, a lot of girls use it, but if you're going to use a plain old curling iron for setting your hair, I'll put this on too. So I use the heat set stuff for underneath my bonnets when I wear them, and I'm going to use my curling iron just for protection. So I'm going to go over the products that I have tried the foam curlers and the rag curl rollers, and there's really fun tutorials online about those. And I've used what are they called? They're little cushioned rag rollers too, but you can either use rags, or it's like a little sponge that's covered and has a hard wire in it, and I've tried those. Pin curling is fine. Very, very time consuming, and I've done it, and I love the curl, and I love the way it turns out. But I don't want to spend the time doing it. I get impatient, and if you do it, I suppose, over and over and over, you get really fluid with it, and I did it a few times and just that's not my cup of tea. I do use little pin curls for when like little hairs will fall out of my curlers and stuff. So I have tried all that type of stuff. So my number one, if I'm going to set my hair in the morning, I'm going to go out that night, or if I'm going to set it, and then I'll take the rollers out at night and then just do like modified little curls, and I'll just hold it in place with a bobby pin. I use brush rollers. I like these little jobbers. They work really well, and I only use these for a day set if I get up in the morning and I set it in the morning, because I have tried to sleep on these and it is torturous. So I use those for when I set them in the morning. And the only thing you need, and I got these and they were used. They were probably in some older lady's hair thing, and they put them up and I bought them. Just cleaned them up and I soaked them in Lysol and water, and then I out the lady's hair that was in them. You can buy them brand new though if you want. So you need for that set are these, and then I use the Motions setting lotion, and I'm just going to go through what I use for products and stuff right now. And then also you need, and I keep all my, I get these little zipper bags. I keep my rollers for that in there, and I keep these little, remember these soap dishes or Q-tip containers? I think this might have had Q-tips in it. And then I also have them that were soap dishes, and they're perfect for keeping, because I like to keep whatever hair setting methods all together in one little spot. And then I keep my little, and these are the pins. Those are the little pins that you use for putting in the roller. You roll the roller up. And I'll do a little thing and show you how to do it. But they go in there. Real simple. So that is my, if I'm going to do it when I get up in the morning and day set it, that's the method I use. And then other things that I use for that is you're going to need some little bobby pins and whatnot, just because some stuff doesn't stay in and it flies away and whatnot. And so you need your, your essential bobby pins that everybody has anyway. And then I do have a few pin curl clips also that I use, just for those little flyaway pieces that won't stay where you want, and you kind of need a little bit more heft than your little bobby pin. I use those. And then if I'm going to do a nighttime set where you can sleep on it, because don't even try it with those because it's uncomfortable. And I had tried to sleep in the sponge rollers that have the little sponge in them and the wire in them, and the little wires poke in your head too, and the pin curl things poke in your head. I think it would be comfortable, and I haven't tried it, if you did pin curls and used bobby pins. That might be sleepable. So the other way is I use little foam rollers. And you can get little variety packs of these. They don't cost very much. And they come with all different sizes. And if I want a little bit bigger, fluffier curl or whatever, I'll use the pink ones. And there's bigger ones than that even if you want a bigger roll. And the smallest little one I use is this little blue one. And then you have the ones that are in between. So I usually will use the 3 smaller ones because I want a little tighter curl and more of a pin curl feel to it without doing a pin curl. So I'll use the smaller ones. And these little blue ones are nice for like the little nape of your neck. So those are primarily the ones that I use for that. And then I also use the, of course, Motion setting lotion. And then my bobby pins, little pin curl pins for little pieces that don't stay in, or you have it all set and you missed one and you just roll it and do a little pin curl with it. So the other basic styling products I use, and those are the things that I use for setting my hair. So the brush rollers, the sponge ones, little pin curl clips, bobby pins, and another very helpful thing for when you're setting your hair, because you put your you'll wash your hair and you'll let it air dry a little bit because you just want it damp when you do this. If you do it sopping wet, it takes forever to dry. It might not even be dry by morning. Or if you're under the bonnet and you do daytime, it takes forever to dry it. So you don't need it soaking wet because you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get a better care. It'll never dry out. So have it damp when you set it. And I will do a little, show you how I do it. And I don't do setting patterns, and mine's just kind of a mishmash of however it turns out, and I comb it out and whatever it is, it is. But another thing when you're setting your hair is helpful are these little, I think they're alligator clips. And they're nice because when you section your hair off and stuff, they hold the other stuff down while you're trying to curl it so it doesn't get in the way. So that's another thing to purchase. And just your basic stuff that makes it easier is, your little comb. Got these, this is 49 cents at Walmart. And it's good for sectioning your hair, sectioning it and then brushing it to get it to low. And then your staples. I got a plain old hairbrush for brushing it out, and then I've got my nice little cushion brush. I like to use that. So those are the basic things for that. And then also, when you do your hair at night, you need to wrap it up, because if you don't, you know, when you're moving during your sleeping time, the curlers come out all over the place. So you need something to wrap it up in. So you can, if you have scarves, you can use a little chiffon scarf and you can do a little wrap with that. Or a cotton scarf. Sometimes I use the cotton just because it's more breathable and it's a little cooler at night. These are, you know, all made out of nylon and they get a little bit warm. Or, if you're like me, you can find these, you can find hair nets all over the place, but I like the little vintage ones. Because I'm doing vintage hair, I kind of like to vintage it out, or my vintage hair nets. So I have little sparkly ones, and then I got little ones that are a little more sturdy. And then I'll use those, do my set at night, and then I'll put the hair net, or wrap it up in a chiffon or cotton scarf, just so it keeps the stability of all the curlers where you want them to be. And if I do a daytime set, or I'm not going to particularly set it in a hair dryer, I will usually use a cotton scarf. So then I will go out and about with my curlers in and do whatever during the day and go shopping and stuff. Just like the ladies used to do. You probably used to see pictures and stuff of your mom or grandma or your sister or whatever, and they were out and about and they went out in the curlers, and that was the norm. Nobody went, what is she doing? Everybody did it because you were setting your hair, and you usually set it, my sister said, on Saturdays because you wanted it the nicest for Sunday church. So another thing that is my staple when I do a day set with my brush rollers is, let me turn around and get it for you. I hope I can get this in so you can see it. Now I have several of these. This is the one I usually use the most, is these vintage hair dryers. Now on top is the bonnet section that you put over your hair, and then there's the motor and the fan and the tubing and all of that. I hope you can see that. So I use this one. And this is like brand new, and I got it, had all the paperwork. So I have several of these portable ones like this. And I also have a hard bonnet that is in a hard carrying case that looks like when you open it up like a salon, it has a very rigid bar. You have to set it up on somewhere where you can set underneath it. So like on your kitchen table, and then you can sit on a chair and run it that way. So I just kind of wanted to share the basic when I do my wet sets, and what I use and what I found that's the simplest for me. I've tried all the other stuff and it's workable, and I just don't have the patience, I guess. I just like something really simple, and my hairdos are very, like I said, country, farm girl, simple, and I might zhuzh them up and change them a little bit depending on if I'm wearing a hat or if I'm wearing flowers in my hair, or, you know, what the outfit is, because you kind of like to match your dress or your outfit that you're wearing, if it's simpler, if it's more fancy. So that's what I usually do. I have tried to kind of do the victory rolls and all that fun stuff, but I like the simple stuff. I kind of keep it like my mom had it, and look at her old pictures and kind of get ideas how she changed it up a little bit depending on what she was doing and where she was going. And she usually did pink rolls or rag rollers, or when she was older, when I was a little girl, I remember that she used the brush rollers and went to the beauty parlor and had her hair set there and set it under the bonnets and visited with the ladies at the beauty shop. So I just want to kind of go over for you simple girls who want to do a little bit of vintage hairstyling and get into it, but are kind of intimidated by all that stuff. It's fun to try. It's fun to try all those things and see what they're all about. But if you just don't have the time or the patience, or you just want to keep it simple, that's what I stick with. And for somebody who wasn't a hair person or hairstyle type person or spent a lot of time in her hair, those are like the simplest, best bets, I guess, for doing wet sets and how to dry them and how they work within your life. So thanks for coming and sitting with me and kind of going through my stuff here for you gals. Keep it simple, and I'm going to do a few more little things, and I will show you how I do my simple wet set. And it's not structured or fancy, but I'm going to show you that, and how I do my brush ones, my ones with my foam rollers, and then how I do a few of my real simple hairdos. I'm not really good at tutorials and stuff, but I thought it'd be just fun to sit down and see somebody from my perspective who just has very simple skills and how I do it and stuff. So take care until we do this again. We'll see you then.